Hi friends, good morning. Welcome to Shankaran AI Study Circle. This is Dr. Harinath Reddy, Director of the Institute. Today in this particular video, we will try to discuss about the criteria recommended by 15th Finance Commission for horizontal devolution of the net tax revenues among the states. Before we get started, I just want to inform the students that tomorrow we were conducting a demo on a particular course known by the name Rapid Revision of Mains Current Affairs. So on October 10th, the prelims exam got over. Those who are confident of clearing the prelims exam can come and attend the demo tomorrow at 10 a.m. So this course will cover more than 100 issues which are very important for the upcoming mains exam in 2022 January, relating to General Essay Paper 1, GS Paper 1, GS Paper 2 and Paper 3. So attend the demo, check out the quality of the classes, and then you can decide whether to join the course or not. Let's get started with the topic. So criteria for horizontal devolution. Even before that, the role of Finance Commission of India. The role of Finance Commission of India. See, when the framers of the Indian Constitution enacted a constitution for independent India, they have provided for a federal constitution with a strong central government. What are the reasons why the framers of the Indian Constitution provided for a strong central government? Because of the circumstances which prevailed then. At the time of partition, when Indian Constitution is getting drafted, there was partition of India in which 10 lakh people got killed and 1 lakh women from both sides got abducted. There was a lot of violence, and the then government was a silent spectator to this violence. So keeping that in mind, to protect the unity and integrity of India, the founding fathers of the Indian Constitution felt that a strong central government is required, and accordingly it is provided for a strong central government. So not only in the executive sphere, not only in the legislative sphere, even in the financial sphere, the central government is made strong. If you see the distribution of executive, legislative and financial powers between the center and the states in the 7th schedule, developmental responsibilities are put on the states. Developmental responsibilities are put on the states. Say developmental subjects like public health, agriculture, rural development, drinking water, sanitation, which need lot of money, they are in the state list. But those taxes which generate lot of revenue, beyond taxes, they are kept in the union list. So we ended up in a situation wherein the resources, the financial resources are with the central government, responsibilities are with the states. These are called vertical imbalances. These are called vertical imbalances. So what do you mean by vertical imbalances? Responsibility is given to states, resources given to the center. In other words, the revenue raising capacity of the state governments is limited compared to the responsibilities. So there is greater dependence of the states on the center for financial resources. So, but on the contrary, the central government has got greater revenue raising capacity compared to the developmental responsibilities. So these are called vertical imbalances. So though the framers of the Indian Constitution have created vertical imbalances, they have also provided a solution for addressing these vertical imbalances in the form of Finance Commission of India. How does Finance Commission of India address vertical imbalances? Now, on the recommendations of the Finance Commission of India, the net tax revenues of the central government are shared with the states. So the financial needs of the state governments are met. So that's the reason why the Finance Commission of India, it is called the balancing wheel the Finance Commission is called the balancing wheel in center-state financial relations. In fiscal federalism, center-state financial relations is also known by the name fiscal federalism. So in fiscal federalism, Finance Commission of India plays an important role. And remember, one very important reason why there is cooperative federalism in India is because of the role played by Finance Commission of India. So Finance Commission of India not only addresses vertical imbalances, it also addresses horizontal imbalances. Horizontal imbalances. What do you mean by horizontal imbalances? In India we have 28 states. All the 28 states are not at the same level of socio-economic development. Some states in southern India, western India, they are more developed socially and economically. States in North India, Central India, Eastern India, Northeast India, they are relatively backward. So when the net tax revenues of the central government which are given to the states are distributed among the states, a criteria evolved by the Finance Commission of India plays an important role for horizontal devolution. So the horizontal imbalances in addition to vertical imbalances are also addressed by the criteria evolved by the Finance Commission for the horizontal devolution of the net tax revenues of the state governments among the states. That is the important role played by Finance Commission of India. Finance Commission of India. Then if you see the criteria evolved by the 15th Finance Commission, so there is a possibility that a question might come on the criteria for horizontal devolution. So how can the question be? The question can come this way. The criteria evolved by the 15th Finance Commission of India with respect to horizontal devolution, how does it differ with 14th Finance Commission? The criteria for horizontal devolution evolved by the Finance Commission of India, evolved by the 15th Finance Commission of India, how does it differ with the criteria evolved by the 14th Finance Commission? Then there can be an additional question as part of the main question. The question is, what is the controversy relating to this criteria for horizontal devolution? So here, if you discuss, one of the criteria which will form the basis for horizontal devolution is population. So till the 14th Finance Commission, the 1971 population was given a lot of importance. In other words, up to the 13th Finance Commission, till the 13th Finance Commission, when population is taken as one of the criteria for horizontal devolution, 1971 census population is taken, not the population of the recent census. And there is a reason for this. What is the reason? To encourage the states in the direction of controlling the population growth rates and to stabilize the population, to incentivize the states to bring down the total fertility rate, the 1971 census is taken. So what does this mean? Those states where there is an increase in population will not get resources in proportion to their population. The resources will be made available as per the 1971 census population only. So this creates a disincentive for the states for not acting on the population growth rates. So if a particular state keeps silent on not bringing down total fertility rates, it will lose. So this is the reason why it was done. But the 14th Finance Commission felt that if the resources are distributed only on the criterion of the 1971 population census, there will be inequity in the resource allocation, because post 1971 there is a population explosion in the northern states, central India. So if resources are given as per the 1971 census, these resources will not match the requirements of the states because of the rise in population. So 14th Finance Commission felt it makes a sense if both 1971 census population as well as our 2011 census is given together a weightage, Then the 14th Finance Commission felt that considerations of equity will be met. In addition to that, states which have done well with respect to population control can also be rewarded. That's the reason why the 14th Finance Commission has given a weightage of 17.5% to the 1971 census population and at 10% to the 2011 census population. So 14th Finance Commission has given weightage to 1971 census population as well as the 2011 census population. So 2011 census population was taken as a criteria for the first time by the 14th Finance Commission along with the 1971 census. Quite contrary to this, 15th Finance Commission has not given any weightage to the 1971 census population. The 15th Finance Commission has given weightage only to the 2011 census population alone. What is the weightage given? 15%. The 2011 census population was given a weightage of 15%. Then how does this impact the states? The states which were controlling the total fertility rate, the states which were declining the states which took measures for reducing the population growth rates, the states which took measure for stabilizing the population will get penalized because the resources are given on the basis of the 2011 census, which means states which have got population explosion will get more resources, states where there is population stabilization will get less resources. This has become a matter of huge controversy. States in southern India and western India, they were deeply worried about the possible loss of revenues which they may incur because of taking 2011 census as the criteria. But to address this problem, 15th Finance Commission has come up with a new criteria called demographic performance. So this criteria was not taken by the 14th Finance Commission, it was taken only by the 15th Finance Commission and it was given a weightage of 12.5%. Then what is demographic performance? Those states which have done well in terms of reducing the total fertility rates and thereby reducing the population growth rates and thereby stabilizing the population will be rewarded through this criteria, demographic performance, that is given a weightage of 12.5%. Despite this demographic performance, states like Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh, they have lost their share of revenues compared to the 14th Finance Commission because of the criteria of the 15th Finance Commission. Still there is a problem. But in addition to this, area is one more criteria. Both 14th Finance Commission and 15th Finance Commission has given a weightage of 15% to area. What does this mean? If the area of the state is more, resources given will be more because the cost of creating infrastructure in states which are large will be high, and this will meet the criteria of equity. If the population of the state is more resources will be given. This will again meet the criteria of equity. Then forest cover was given weightage for the first time by the 14th Finance Commission. It is the 14th Finance Commission which has given criteria for forest cover for the first time, and the weightage given by the 14th Finance Commission is 7 point. This was increased to 10% by the 15th Finance Commission. So 15th Finance Commission called it forest cover and ecology, 14th Finance Commission called it as forest cover. And why this is an important criteria? Why this is an important criteria? So in the context of climate change and global warming, for achieving sustainable development, preserving the ecology and the forest cover is very important. So to encourage the states which does preserve ecology and forest cover, this criteria is brought in by the 14th Finance Commission. What does this mean? Those states which have preserved forest cover and ecology will tend to get more financial resources. Then in addition to this, income distance. What do you mean by income distance? So in India, all the states are not at the same level of socio-economic development. Some states are relatively more developed and some states are relatively backward. States in South India, Western India, more developed. States in North India, Eastern India, Central India, Northeast India, less developed and relatively backward. So if the per capita income of the state is low, then it will be given more money, which means all the states are given per capita, the per capita income of all the states is calculated. If a particular state is very far away from the per capita income of a rich state, then it will get more funds. And again this will meet the criteria of equity, because those states which are poor, whose per capita income is low, and which are at a distance away from the states which are otherwise rich, will be given focus and will be given more financial resources. So that's why income distance is one criteria, and the 14th Finance Commission has given a weightage of 50% to income criteria, whereas the 15th Finance Commission has given a weightage of 45% to income distance. In addition to this, tax effort. What do you mean by tax effort? Tax effort. So if a particular state has increased the total revenues by increasing the efficiency in the collection of taxes, then such states will be rewarded. The reason is, if you create competition among the states by giving more money to the states which have increased the efficiency in the tax revenue collections, that will create competition among the states and that will increase the financial situation of each state. So to incentivize the states to increase the efficiency in the collection of the taxes, this was taken up as one more criteria by the 15th Finance Commission, and it was given a weightage of 2.5%. 2.5%. So we will also briefly discuss the points which I have made in the form of a PDF file. See, if you see the recent finance commissions, the recent finance commissions have given importance to two important criteria. One is equity criteria, the second one is efficiency criteria. For example, giving financial resources in proportion to the population, in proportion to area, as per capita income, they all meet the criteria of equity. Similarly, if more financial resources are given to the states on the basis of demographic performance, tax effort, that will meet the criteria of efficiency. So in the recent past, several finance commissions of India, they have given importance equally to the criterion of efficiency and also the criterion of equity. Criterion of equity. So if you take population, population is an indicator of the expenditure needs of a state. It is a simple, objective and a transparent indicator that ensures predictability. So that's why population is taken as one criteria. But when the 15th Finance Commission was constituted, there were recommendations from several states, and these recommendations are the following way. Some states have suggested, since public goods and services have to be provided to the entire population, the 2011 census data on population should be used for the purpose of devolution. So this is done. This is done. But at what cost? At the cost of the states which have done well with respect to population stabilization. However, half of the states have suggested that the 1971 population data should be the sole criteria for the distribution of the resources. So this is the argument from southern states. They have argued that use of the latest population data would penalize those states that have taken effective population control measures. So to compensate, to address the fears of the southern states, demographic performance was taken as a criteria by the 15th Finance Commission. In addition to this, some states have also suggested growing urbanization imposes challenges for the states in terms of providing services to its population. Therefore, they have argued weight should be given to the states where population is growing rapidly and which are also urbanizing at a fast pace. Like this, there were a number of recommendations made from several states regarding population criteria. So even if you take the views of the 14th Finance Commission, the 14th Finance Commission had expressed the view that the use of dated population is unfair. Fiscal equalization being recommended by it is for the present needs of the states, and this is best represented by the latest census data. So, standalone population criteria of 2011 census has been assigned a weight of 15% by the 15th Finance Commission. Then area is one of the criteria, as I told. Area as a criterion in the devolution formula was first introduced by the 10th Finance Commission. Area as a criteria for a horizontal devolution was introduced for the first time by 10th Finance Commission. And what is the reason for this? A state with a larger area has to incur additional administrative costs to deliver a comparable standard of service to its citizens. So, this is the logic in having area as one of the criterion. Then forest and ecology. Forest cover was used as a criterion in the devolution formula for the first time by the 14th Finance Commission, on the ground that the forest cover maintained by states provides ecological benefits, but it also imposes opportunity costs that needs to be compensated. That's why when 14th Finance Commission has assigned 7.5% weightage to forest cover, 15th Finance Commission has given a further weight of 10% to forest and ecology criteria. And income distance, this I have explained. Nearly half the states have favored the continuation of the criterion of fiscal capacity distance used by the 13th Finance Commission, and this is being continued. This I have explained initially. Poorer states with low per capita income also have higher expenditure needs to provide for comparable services. Horizontal equity is thus an important redistributive aspect. Hence, 15th Finance Commission has retained the income distance criteria with a weight of 45%. But remember, 14th Finance Commission has given a weightage of 50%. Then demographic performance, here I told, after almost 4 decades, the 15th Finance Commission was mandated to use the population data of the most recent census for making recommendations, that is 2011 census. What is the impact of this one? The states, the southern states which have done well with respect to population stabilization will get affected. Better performance in reduction of total fertility also serves as an indirect indicator for better outcomes in health as well as education, since this is an important performance criteria to reward efforts made by states in controlling their population and achieving better human capital outcomes in education and health. The 15th Finance Commission has decided to assign a total weight of 12.5% for demographic performance. Then tax effort, this also we have already discussed. A majority of the states have favored continuation of the fiscal discipline criteria as an indicator for the distribution of resources. While the existing weight as used by the 13th Finance Commission is 17.5%, states have suggested a lesser amount. The 15th Finance Commission left the share of the states in the central taxes virtually unchanged for the next financial year. But here when it comes to the tax effort, many states have suggested inclusion of tax performance criteria to incentivize the states with higher efficiency of tax collection. The 15th Finance Commission is of the view that the inclusion of tax effort as a criteria will reward the states with higher tax collection efficiency, and at the same time will also encourage all states to be more tax efficient. That's why a total weight of 2.5% has been assigned to this criteria. Because of the recommendations of the 15th Finance Commission, there were significant gains for Maharashtra, Rajasthan, Arunachal Pradesh and Bihar. The southern states of Karnataka, Kerala, Telangana and Andhra Pradesh are the biggest losers. Unlike its predecessor, the 15th Finance Commission has used the 2011 census as the sole criteria for population, but has reduced the weight for population to 15% from the earlier 27.5%. So 14th Finance Commission has given a total weight of 27.5% for population, 1971 as well as 11, but 15th Finance Commission only 15% criteria. So when it comes to geographical area, the 15th Finance Commission has retained 15% like the 14th Finance Commission, but the weightage given to forest was increased from 7.5 to 10%. These were the changes made. And even income distance, this was reduced from 50 to 45%. Demographic performance and tax effort have been brought in as parameters to reward the states performing better on both these counts. The 15th Finance Commission has decided to assign a total weight of 12.5% for demographic performance. A total weight of 2.5% has been assigned to tax effort. So that's it about the recommendations of the 15th Finance Commission with respect to the criteria for horizontal devolution. Thank you.